Hello, welcome to News Now on TV360. I'm Thelma Okoro. The Nigerian Senate has confirmed Justice Walter Onnoghen as the new Chief Justice of Nigeria. The Senate confirmed Onnoghen on Wednesday after he completed his screening exercise. Onnoghen, who was sworn in as acting Chief Justice of Nigeria by President Muhammadu Buhari in November last year, now becomes the first Southerner to be named as Chief Justice of Nigeria since 1987. During his screening exercise today, Onnoghen promised to tackle corruption, ensure transparency in the judiciary, and build a closer working relationship with the National Assembly. A federal high court in Abuja has struck out 6 of the 11 charges against the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, and 3 others. The judge, Justice Binta Nyako, struck out the charges related to management of an unlawful organization, intention to manufacture bomb, and improper importation of a radio transmitter. She says she is striking out the charges owing to a lack of evidence from the Defense Counsel. Meanwhile, a former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Charles Soludo, and renowned economist Pat Utomi have demanded the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu. Both men also condemned the alleged killing of IPOB members in the southeast region of the country and want a panel of inquiry set up to probe the killings.
Most patriotic Nigerians do not believe that Nnamdi Kanu can now receive fair trial strictly on the law, because the laws that have been, it's gone through the court processes, one court order, one outright release, unconditional release, and the Nigerian state refused. And you keep holding him until you get a favorable court order. I'm sorry. It is our view that the current circumstance makes Nnamdi Kanu and his colleagues political prisoners, our prisoners of conscience. They're no longer, it's not about crime, it's not about anything, because we're no longer following the rule of law.
The truth of the matter is, when you incarcerate Nnamdi Kanu, who is incarcerated is not Nnamdi Kanu, it's all people of conscience. Who is incarcerated is not Nnamdi Kanu, it's all people whose perspective he represents, whether they come from an ethnic nationality group. If you incarcerate him, you incarcerate all people who believe in the rule of law. And so it is this collective imprisonment that we expect will force a rethink on the part of all people about this. So we do hope and expect that we will get results. What essentially it's calling for is citizenship and citizenship behavior.
South Africa has deported no fewer than 97 Nigerians over alleged criminal and civil offences. The deportees, including 95 males and 2 females, arrived in Murtala Mohammed International Airport from Johannesburg on Monday night. Those accused of criminal offences were handed over to the police for prosecution, while those accused of committing civil offences were allowed to go home. Their deportation comes days after South Africans launched a series of racist attacks on foreigners in the country, accusing them of taking their jobs and indulging in criminal activities. The Nigerian Senate has set up a committee to visit South Africa over attacks on Nigerians. The committee will be led by Senate Deputy President, Ike Ekweremadu. Others on the delegation are former Senate Minority Leader Ahmad Lawan and Shehu Sani, Stella Odua, Magnus Abe, Olushola Adeyeye, and Shaba Lafiaji. Meanwhile, a Nigerian group has also protested against attacks on Nigerians in South Africa. The group, known as Citizens for Social and Economic Rights, has called for the expulsion of the South African High Commissioner to Nigeria.
Get the South African authorities. You make sure that this time, if they didn't pay adequate compensation for every Nigerian life that was lost, they must pay. Every property, they must pay. If they don't pay, let them not come back. Those businesses that are seized by the Nigerian government will not be given back to them. Expropriation is a normal thing. It's a practice under international law. It may be hard, but it's a practice. This is a deserving situation for the Nigerian government to deal decisively with the South African authorities and the South African people. Call for a United Nations General Assembly session to address South African xenophobia. The evil of South Africa is stinking up high heavens, and Nigeria is not leading the way. Address it at the United Nations level. South Africa has not learnt its lesson. It will happen again if we don't take these actions.
The government is taking up all measures with the South African authorities to ensure that the rights of those affected are well protected, and an appropriate remedy will be secured on their behalf. So my coming here is to receive, on behalf of the Minister of Foreign Affairs, the Minister of State and the Permanent Secretary, and indeed the entire officials of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, your letter of complaint, which will be transmitted to the highest authorities, and we assure you that the authorities will take appropriate action as is required.
Another Nigerian group has also marched to the South African Embassy in Lagos State to protest the xenophobic attacks on Nigerians and other Africans. The group, under the aegis of Advocates for Collective Transformation, has demanded action from the government on the attacks.
The message is we want the federal government of Nigeria to declare, to close down all embassies, all South African embassies on the soil of Nigeria. We want the government to also declare the South African ambassador to Nigeria and its officials persona non grata. We don't want them on our soil until the safety of Nigerians in South Africa are guaranteed. And I want to tell you that the South African embassy in Nigeria here is not doing enough, because in the South Africa in Nigeria, the South Africa embassy here in office in Nigeria should take the message of peace back to their country. Should go and tell them that we are in Nigeria, we are running business in Nigeria, and it's peaceful. They should go back and tell their people this is what is happening to us here. The story will be good. The story will be interesting from their mouth, telling their public that this is what is happening. We have businesses here. These people are not attacking us, so stop attacking Nigerians and other immigrants in their country. That is number one. They are also calling on President Jacob Zuma to take responsibilities. These attackers are identified. Videos we are seeing online shows that these people can be identified, can be arrested. But the South African government has refused to do this. And I'm telling you now, once after the police round them up in 2-3 days, after a month or two, they are let off the hook.
Government represents the father. You know the father role, and if a father sees his own child murdered in cold blood, it is the responsibility of a father to speak. They have not spoken. That's why we are speaking so with high volume, that they should react, they should act. We respect our father so much, so we are not going to be very, very disobedient. We wait on their action.
The former governor of Lagos State, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has ruled out the possibility of contesting against President Muhammad Buhari in 2019. Buhari, who is on extended sick leave, has not confirmed if he will seek a second term in office. But Tinubu, who is the senior leader of the ruling All Progressives Congress and one of the party's strongest backers, says he would never contest against the president or support anyone who does so, should he decide to seek re-election. Nigeria wants Royal Dutch Shell to reopen a major export pipeline in the Niger Delta region. However, the oil major wants better protection first to avoid having it blown up yet again by oil vandals. Nigeria's Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has been meeting community leaders for peace talks in the Niger Delta region. The Nigerian Senate has accused NNPC of corruption in the marketing of products, as well as in its accounts between 2006 and 2016. The Senate during plenary on Wednesday made the allegations against the oil company. This followed a motion by Dino Malaye over the growing rate of corruption in the state oil firm. Rotimi Amechi, Minister of Transportation, has told governors not to ban motorcycles and tricycles because doing so would affect the nation's economy. According to the minister, commercial cyclists play a vital role in the transportation sector, especially in transporting agricultural produce where roads are not easily accessible. He says a lot of Nigerians depend on motorcycles and advise state governments not to ban them but train the operators of the machines. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has resolved to adopt political rather than legal approach to seek a lasting solution to the party's leadership crisis. The Governors' Forum took the decision when it met with former President Goodluck Jonathan in Abuja, the nation's capital. Ayodele Fashe, chairman of the forum, disclosed this while briefing journalists on the outcome of that meeting. The chairman, Lagos State Independent Electoral Commission, has said the commission will no longer fold its arm and watch political thugs disrupt the electoral process in the state. She spoke at a stakeholders forum organized by the commission at the City Hall in Lagos State. She also condemned the desperate attitude of some politicians in Lagos who sought to get into public office at all costs.
Have a ways to go. I still think we should have another meeting, and we're planning to have another meeting with the security agents, the political parties, the religious fathers, and some other people from the grassroots level, where we can still regurgitate and go back to all these things, restate all the problems, restate what we expect from each and every one of them, and then, hopefully by that time we'll be able to get their confidence and then get their full cooperation on the day of elections. But we are getting some feedback already, because it does appear that we are reaching the people gradually, but there's still a lot of grumbling, and we've noted their complaints, and we'll still see what we can do about it. We still have some time left.
The only thing permanent in life, they say, is change. We should just keep hope alive that we go from good to better and possibly best. Democracy in Nigeria is a work in progress. So we have to all do whatever we can. The electorate, the election managers, the security agents. It's a collaborative work to push Nigeria forward. You see, Nigeria is a big country, a very important country, and the whole world is watching us. They want to see whether indeed we are ready for democracy. This has been an experiment in the last 17 years or thereabout, and we hope that nothing will reverse whatever gains we have had, whether minimal or otherwise. The fact that we were able to defeat an incumbent government tells me that there's a lot to hope for. Democracy is developing in Nigeria.
Corruption not in my country.
That was a very good business.
Yeah.
The furniture you brought was very perfect.
But that's how we roll.
Then let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
Mbano. The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no, I don't do business like that now. Yeah.
In that case, give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss.
It is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
You will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people, make we only add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country. Corruption not in my country.
How work?
Oh, correct, Oga.
What is it that you are doing?
Oga, they come out the part now. Make we go sell for.
Oga, na correct kuza be this o. Oga Titus and him boys them. They do am. They go come out the original parts, sell them, make plenty kuza.
No wonder our customers bring the generator back to our workshop because they bad. And not because of stuff.
Now because they overuse the generator. Plus say NEPA no they give them electricity.
Before I open my eye, Makachuku look at my talk in the heaven. Replace this original generator parts back inside this generator of my customer. In short, before una do am, frog jump. One. Frog jump. 1, 2, 1. Stealing of generator parts or changing of original parts to a fake one. That is the corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Up next, we have business stories. Fidelia is standing by.
Thank you, Thelma. The Office of the Vice President says the Nigerian economy in 2016 performed better than the International Monetary Fund (IMF) projected. According to the Presidential Advisor on Economic Matters, the recently released data from the National Bureau of Statistics show that Nigeria's GDP contracted by 1.30% in the fourth quarter of 2016. He says the outlook for 2016 is positive and the country is in the early stage of recovery. Nigeria is now producing as much as 2.1 million barrels of oil per day. This is according to the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC. General Managing Director of the corporation, Mike Antibaru, made the disclosure at the Nigeria Oil and Gas Conference and Exhibition held in Abuja, the nation's capital. According to Barrow, an ongoing negotiation with stakeholders in the Niger Delta is responsible for the surge in production. Oil edged higher on Wednesday as investors took heart from strict OPEC compliance with its pledge to cut output. Brent crude futures were up 27 cents at $56.78 a barrel, while US crude were up 18 cents at $54.19 a barrel. Now, the Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, reduced output for a second month in February, following strong compliance around 94%. That's all on business. More stories coming up. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
How work?
How correct, Oga?
What is it that you are doing?
Oga, they command the part now. Make we go sell for.
Oga, na correct kuza be this o. Oga Titus and him boys them. They do am. They will command the original parts, sell them, make plenty kuza.
No wonder our customers bring the generator back to our workshop because they're bad. And not because of stuff.
But because they overuse the generator. Plus, say, NEPA no they give them electricity.
Before I open my eye, Makachuku, look at my talk in the heaven. Replace this original generator parts back inside this generator of my customer. In short, before una do am, frog jump. 1. Frog jump. 1, 2, 1. Stealing of generator parts or changing of original parts to a fake one. That is the corruption. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. The European Union is being urged by one of its frontline states to significantly increase funding to return migrants stranded in Libya. A proposal by Malta, which currently chairs EU meetings, was presented to the other 27 members of the bloc earlier in February. The Mediterranean Sea between Libya and Italy has become the main crossing point for asylum seekers and economic migrants seeking a better life in Europe. Malta's proposal comes ahead of a summit of the bloc's 28 national leaders next week. The International Organization for Migration estimates that there are about 700,000 and 1 million migrants in Libya. U.S. President Donald Trump has said the country is witnessing a renewal of the American spirit as he delivered his first speech to Congress. Adopting a measured, upbeat tone, the Republican president spoke of a new chapter of American greatness. Trump condemned recent vandalism of Jewish cemeteries and a shooting in Kansas that left an Indian man dead. The president also talked tough on the issue of immigration, pledging to make U.S. communities safer by finally enforcing immigrant laws. His prime-term address sought to bolster his low approval ratings after a bumpy start of his fledgling presidency. Nigeria's Sports Minister Solomon Dalong has advised the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, Amaju Pinnick, to use his discretion while voting in the 2017 CAF presidential elections. Dalong urged Pinnick to ensure he votes for the candidate who will best serve Nigeria's football interest. The 2017 CAF elections is between incumbent President Issa Hayatu and the President of the Madagascar Football Association, Ahmad Ahmed. The Sports Ministry has also endorsed Pinnick's bid for a seat on the CAF Executive Committee. The CAF elections will hold on March 16, 2017. Nigeria's beach soccer teams have been paired with Italy and Mexico in Group B of the 2017 Beach Soccer World Cup. The fourth team in the group is the best placed qualifier from the Asian Confederation. The Sand Eagles will begin their tournament with a tie against Italy. All the games will be played in the Bahamas. The tournament is expected to run from April 27 till March 7, 2017. Liverpool's Mayor Joe Anderson has offered to replace South African city of Durban as the host of the 2022 Commonwealth Games. The British city made the gesture after South African Sports Minister Fikile Mbalula hinted that the country might opt out of hosting the tournament. The Commonwealth Games Federation would make a final decision on the matter. That's all we have on News Now. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Thelma Okoro.